Hey divas! In today's video, we are continuing with part 4 of my awesome conversation with Dan Faber from Dan Faber Vocal Studios in Los Angeles. In today's video, we're talking about how to boost your confidence easily. So I know that's a really hot topic. You definitely want to stay tuned for this one. Remember to subscribe before you leave and turn on your notification bell. That way you'll never miss an upcoming video. Without further ado, let's hop back straight into that video.
So I have checked out some of your videos and you look like you have no issue whatsoever with confidence. You are like so, out there on the stage and enjoying yourself. I saw one of your recent reels with you having a ball of a time on stage and I'm like, whoo, you go boy. So question 6 is about confidence, okay? We all know confidence is a crucial aspect of a successful vocal performance. So can you share some tips or techniques you offer your students to boost their confidence when singing in front of an audience, whether it's in person or even online?
Sure. I think that when you're talking about, first of all, thank you. I appreciate the love. That was a really fun time. I still am an active performer and trying to, get out there and just do the thing. And it's always a lot of fun when I do have the opportunity to, especially, long story super short is this was my first longer musical theater contract in several years because of the pandemic and my wedding and moving and a million other reasons why. I do love it. So I've always been sort of confident and goofy, but that doesn't mean necessarily that I expect confidence and goofiness and fun from all the students. But I do like to open up a nice rapport with individuals in one-on-one lessons and just encourage them to be themselves and kind of meet them at their level. If they're high energy and chatty, I'll be high energy and chatty. If they're more chill, I'll definitely just be more chill and just get to know them and allow them to explore the space and ultimately know that voice lessons and private lessons are safe spaces where one can be themselves and they don't need to hold back. And I won't curse on here, but I certainly curse a whole lot when I'm in sessions. I like, especially with younger students who I don't want them to think like this is school. This is a place where they need to put themselves in a box. Like the opposite. This is a place where they need to allow themselves to be free and explore and just be who they are. It doesn't mean that everybody's a potty mouth like me, but it does mean that if they are sort of trying to conform to a certain societal expectation in school or in life, that this is a place where they don't have to conform, but rather they can be their own actual human self and bring that human self into their music. I think that that in terms of the actual expression of physicality and emotion and technicality and just allowing themselves to sort of play around with things and being able to take what they're already doing and hone in those skills to be able to be within themselves is always super fun and important. I think that bringing in bits of themselves into the text and story of the songs themselves is immensely important. And if they don't feel like they can be themselves or be free to speak freely, then asking them to sing or tell stories through song is farcical because they end up being like, how can they tell a story if they can't tell their own story? I think also it's a great place to just say hey, this is a place where you're allowed to screw up. There's no expectations of perfection or even
Exactly.
good quality here. You can sing way too big or way too small and miss the notes and this is not we're not recording this session to be posted online. We might be recording it for you to watch back later, you the student, but this is where you try things. This is where you allow yourself to fail. This is where you allow yourself to you know take that risk where there's no actual risk present. There's no downside to trying to sing the big note and it doesn't work, or trying to let out certain emotions and it feels weird or you get judged. It's a judgment-free zone. So thinking about less about, trying to perform as a human or as an actual storyteller, but really allowing somebody to just be themselves, then people can find and discover what works and what feels good. And then they find themselves building that natural confidence just by seeing that, hey, I had a lot of fun being a human and being myself and not putting all the self-judgment on me. And now I can go out and be myself more so in life, or also, of course, when performing, especially when they find, wait, when I'm letting it all out there and I'm not judging myself and I'm just being myself as I go out there, they'd find that the actual quality of performance is so much better that yeah, that they're just, that it really just does, like you said, it just instills natural confidence from allowing this sort of place of openness.
I absolutely love that approach. And I think it's so important, when my students would come in as well, to make them feel like it's a safe space. Because that way, knowing that there's no judgment, they feel okay to make mistakes. And I mean, let's be honest, when we are singing, when we're practicing and making all these funny sounds we have to make in vocal training, we need to feel kind of like okay to make those sounds and okay to mess up, not sort of feel like shy and embarrassed. When students come in, like 99% of them are always just so shy to make a weird noise in front of me. And so, like some vocal exercises where you, for example, you grunt like a gorilla, it sounds ridiculous. But
Sure.
what I'll do is, like, I'll try and do the exercises first and like do them more pronounced. So the student is like, hey, okay, I can kind of let loose here. If my teacher is so comfortable, let me also kind of like loosen up. So,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
an excellent approach. I also do try and incorporate the same thing. I also find that confidence is really built through practice and that positive reinforcement. So I'll encourage students to also perform in front of a mirror or to
Hmm.
record themselves, like just for themselves to hear, just to gain that kind of like self assurance. Visualization techniques as well work great. So, deep breathing exercises, that positive self talk, all of those I find play a key role in boosting that confidence. And it's not something all woo woo, when people think, oh, visualization. I mean, I think it's so important to really believe in yourself, and you've got to see that sort of in your mind's eye. Like, if you're scared to go on stage, for example, like see yourself on the stage and performing well and people clapping for you. It just, I feel, gives you such a boost of confidence. Whereas compared to if you did the opposite and you're like afraid, thinking, oh, I'm gonna, sing terribly and people are gonna laugh at me. I mean, it just doesn't help anything. So I try and also encourage students to do some of those exercises, like, see yourself successful. And it can just, it makes such a world of difference to your performances, to your confidence, to everything.
Yeah, I fully agree. I totally agree with that. And I think that's a really wonderful thing that you encourage your students to do. I think that those skills are hard to put in, but when you yourself emulate the silliness and then you yourself suggest some of the things that you suggested, encouraging them to basically pre-perform to then allow themselves to get that best performance quality out there is so beautiful.
Now, how awesome was that on boosting your singing confidence easily? In the comment section, go ahead and share with us what were your biggest takeaways from today's video, and maybe you have some other tips and tricks up your sleeve that you use to help boost your confidence. Go ahead and share those with us. I'm sure everyone would love to learn even more about how they can boost their confidence. If you would like to go even further on your singing journey, boost your confidence even more, I encourage you to check out the beautiful course that I have put together for you. It's called Learn How to Sing, Vocal Training, and it takes you through all the way from beginner to intermediate and then to advanced level vocal training. So no matter which level of vocal ability you may be at, you will benefit. You can really transform your vocals and build your self-esteem. Details in the description box below. Be sure to check out Dan's channel as well. It's Dan Faber Vocal Studios on YouTube. In my next video, it is the fifth and final part of this awesome conversation between me and Dan. We are going to be talking about performance anxiety, another hot topic. This one directly ties in with today's video on how to boost your confidence to help with those nerves when you're on stage. So do join us in that next video, and you can kiss your performance anxiety bye-bye after that one. I will see you in that next video. And until then, my beautiful divas, stay awesome.